In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets for Wednesday, February 12th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Wednesday, February 12th NBA slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 9.26 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on the way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now for the Patreon here, we had a very solid Monday night here. This was the main parlay, well, the group parlay. Just a nice quick double up here. San Antonio Spurs, Golden State Warriors, and LA Lakers. We had a phenomenal night here. We also had the Cougars to cover the 9.5, and they definitely did that against Baylor. So very solid night in basketball and college basketball. If you want more winning plays, you sign up right now. Go to that description link provided down below. We have people in that community going off 24/7, and you're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First up in the TD Garden, we have the Boston Celtics 38-16 going against the San Antonio Spurs 23-28. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Spurs here and the Celtics. Celtics home favorites -325 with the comeback of the Spurs at a +260. Point spread at an 8.5. Total points at 232.5. So this line is dropping. It was at 233. It's dropped to 232. Public bet percentage here, 92% of the bets, 89% of the money all over Boston. For the point spread, 80% of the bets, 87% of the money towards Boston to cover. And for the total, 82% of the bets, 83% of the money towards the over 232.5. Looking at the injury report here for both of these teams, starting off with the Boston Celtics. In this injury report, we have a game time decision on, we have out on Charles Bassey, and Riley Minix is out for the season. Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown, game time decision. Drew Holiday's out. Torrey Craig is a game time decision, and Anton Watson is a game time decision here. For the Spurs, in their last 5 games, they've been struggling, only winning 2 out of their last 5 games, squeaking by Atlanta and getting over Washington in their last game. Celtics are coming into form, finishing the first half of the season very strong, winning 4 out of their last 5 games in very dominant fashion. And in this particular matchup here, starting off with that total of 232.5, they've only went over this number. 7 is 30. They only went over this number twice in the last 5 games, okay? Majority of these games have been blowouts here for the Celtics here, and I see something very similar in this spot. So for the total, I'm going to lean towards the under in the 232.5. I think that's too high in this particular spot. For the Spurs, looking at the money line, obviously love the Celtics on the money line to get this win. I think they're going to continue to finish this first half very strong going into the All-Star break here. And give me the cover of the Celtics as well. All right, so cover, money line, and the under on the total of 232.5. In Barclays Center here, we have the Brooklyn Nets 19-34 going against the Philadelphia 76ers 20-33. Starting off with the odds for this matchup here, we have the 76ers as road favorites -120 with the comeback of the Nets at a +100. Point spread at a 1.5. Total points at 211.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 68% of the bets towards Philly And then we had, oh no, it goes away. It just went away. Let's see if we can load it up again and see if it pops up for us, because it was just there. Let's see. All right, so 68% of the bets towards Philly, 92% of the money towards Philly as well. No information on a point spread or the total points as of right now. This is the 76ers' second game of a back-to-back. They just lost to the Toronto Raptors. And I've been trying to tell you that this is a very, very inconsistent team here in the 76ers. Very untrustworthy. Before we get to that, let's look at the injury report for this particular matchup. Starting off with the 76ers, we have Kyle Lowry, game time decision. Eric Gordon, game time decision. Jared McCain is out for the year. All right. Also, this is a back-to-back. Most likely they'll bench Joel Embiid, but you have to wait and watch the news. So definitely stay tuned to the injury report here. They might be with or without Joel Embiid, so definitely stay tuned to that. For the Brooklyn Nets, Nick Claxton is a game time decision. Bojan Bogdanovic is out. Noah Clowney is out. Cam Thomas is out. All right. For the Brooklyn Nets here, and like I said, the recent games, 76ers losing 4 of their last 5 games in horrible fashion. Brooklyn Nets have been strong here, beating Houston back-to-back. Embarrassing loss to Washington, but they came back against Miami and Charlotte with 2 big wins there. So this team and the Brooklyn Nets are playing very good team basketball despite the fact of all their injuries. Cam Johnson is back, and we have a double revenge here. All right. Both games have gone to Philadelphia. Here, if we're looking at the lines that they have given out in that game, it was the 76ers money line, 76ers cover, and the under of 214. Then the second game was 76ers on the road, outright win, cover the 9.5, and the over of 211. So they brought the total back down, and now they have a total of 211 and again. All right, so I do like the over in this particular matchup here for the 76ers in the Nets. So I'll lean to the over, but I'm going to go with the point spread of the Nets here. I'll take the points with the home dog in this spot, and we have a very inconsistent and underachieving 76ers team. So plus 1.5 Nets and the over on 211.5. In Madison Square Garden here, we have the New York Knicks 35-18 going up against the Atlanta Hawks 26-28. Looking at the current odds for this game here, we have the New York Knicks at home favorites minus 325 with the comeback of the Hawks at a plus 260. Point spread at 8.5. Total points at 241.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 85% of the bets, 79% of the money here on the side of the Knicks. For the point spread, 58% of the bets, 57% of the money here on Atlanta to cover. And for the total points, 69% of the bets and money towards the over 241.5. All right, looking at the injury report here for these two teams. Hawks, Larry Nance is out. Vit Krejci is out. Trae Young is a game time decision. Jalen Johnson is out for the year, and Kobe Buffkin is out for the year as well. For the New York Knicks, OG Anunoby is a game time decision. Kevin Mueller is a game time decision. Pacomi Dadiat is a game time decision, and Mitchell Robinson is out in this game here. Looking at the last 5 games, Atlanta Hawks have been playing very good basketball here. Winning 4 out of the last 5 games here, beating Orlando, beating Washington, Milwaukee, a very tightly contested loss there against San Antonio, and then they squeaked out a win against Detroit. Knicks are trying to finish the first half of the season strong, blowing out the Indiana Pacers, handling Toronto and Houston. They have some tough losses against Boston and the LA Lakers. All right, so a really elite talent, that's where they're falling short at. But this is a spot where Atlanta has dominated this series earlier in the year, winning the first 2 games. And then the Knicks finally got revenge back January 20th, and this is their 3rd matchup here, all right? So I do believe that the Knicks tie up this series in this one. I like the money line on the Knicks. The question is going to be the point spread here. The fact that the Atlanta Hawks still have been playing very good basketball despite the fact of all these injuries. I will probably lean to the value of the plus 8.5, but my favorite play is Knicks on the money line. plus 8.5 on a point spread for the total of 241.5. I think this is way too high if we're going back to the last 5 matchups. We have 4, actually all of them. Yeah, every single game has gone under this 241 total. All right, so last 5 games, 0-5 on the under here. So definitely under 241.5 total points in this particular matchup. I do think the Knicks get this win ultimately. Capital One Arena here. We have the Washington Wizards 9-44 going against the Indiana Pacers 29-23. Looking at the current odds for this game, we have the Pacers road favorites -475 on the money line with the comeback of the Wizards at a +350. Point spread at a 10.5. Total points at 239.5. Public bet percentage here: 89% of the bets, 94% of the money towards Indiana for the point spread. 63% of the bets, 61% of the money for Indiana to cover, and for the total points, 78% of the bets, 82% of the money towards that over 239.5. If we're looking at the injury report here for these two teams, let's open up that game cast for you. And looking at the injury report here, we have the Indiana Pacers. Miles Turner is out. Isaiah Jackson is out for the year. For the Washington Wizards, we have Alex Sarr, game time decision. He could be back. Anthony Gill out. Chris Middleton out. Marcus Smart out. And Sadiq Bey out. All right. So all those 3 guys, or 4 guys, are expected back after the All-Star break there. And looking at the last 5 games for both of these teams, we have the Wizards, who have struggled last 3 games, losing 3 in a row. Before that, they had a little bit of a hot streak, winning back-to-back games against Charlotte and Brooklyn. And then they proceeded to lose by 10 against Cleveland, 14 against Atlanta, and 10 against San Antonio. Indiana Pacers had a hot streak, but they've struggled as of late, losing 3 out of their last 5 games, losing to Portland, LA, and the New York Knicks, all very top tier talent here. This is a game that they should handle, and they already beat the Washington Wizards earlier in the season by 12 points at home. This is a different venue here. This is the Washington Wizards being at home in this particular spot. That game went to a total of 218 points, and this total has jumped up all the way to 239. This particular spot here, I am going to go towards the over. If we look at their last 5 games, this matchup here between the Pacers and Washington Wizards tends to go over, as went over 3 out of the last 5 games with this very high total of 240. But this is the type of offense that and pace that these guys are running. I wouldn't be too afraid of this number. So over on the 239.5. And for the point spread, this is the Pacers coming off 6th game of the back-to-back. Washington coming in with fresh legs. Give me the plus 10.5 on the home team, okay? So give me the plus 10.5 on the Wizards and the over on 239.5. In Smoothie King Center here, we have the New Orleans Pelicans 12-41 going against the Sacramento Kings 27-26. Looking at the current odds for this game here, we have the Kings as road favorites at -190 on the money line with the comeback of the Pelicans at a +155. Point spread at a 4.5. Total points at 238.5. Looking at the current public bet percentage here, 82% of the bets, 89% of the money, all over the Sacramento Kings. For the point spread, 89% of the bets, 90% of the money towards the Kings to cover, and for the total points, 83% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 238.5. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, starting off with Sacramento Kings, no injuries for the Kings, but for the Pelicans, they have a lot of issues here. McCollum is a game time decision. Kelly Olynyk, who they just traded for, is going to be out of this game here. Brandon Boston is out. Herbert Jones out for the season. DeJounte Murray out for the season as well. So a lot of issues on this New Orleans Pelicans team. And that's why they're currently on a 9-game losing streak here. So really, really struggling going into this All-Star break here. They have 2 games left. This is going to be a back-to-back here against this Kings team. Kings, as we can see, they've played better basketball here, winning their last 2 games against New Orleans and Dallas. 3 out of their last 5 have been wins. They've already played the Pelicans twice. They beat them twice as well. If we're looking at that first matchup, that was a Kings money line win. Pelicans cover in the under of 231.5. Second game was a Kings money line win. Pelicans covered again in the over 239.5. This particular game here, for this front end of the back-to-back, give me the Kings on the money line and Kings to cover. All right, we're finally going to get the Kings to cover in this particular spot. I like them there to cover the 4.5 in the money line for the total of 238.5. That total has gone under, over, under, 30 over. So 3 out of the 2 games have gone under. In this particular high total, I'm going to take the under in this one here at 238.5. I think this is going to be a blowout. The Kings handling the Pelicans in this front end of the back-to-back. In the Kia Center here, we have the Orlando Magic 26-29. Going to be the Charlotte Hornets 13-38. Looking at the current odds for this one here, we have the Magic at home, big favorites, minus 625 on the money line, with the comeback of the Hornets at a plus 450. Point spread at 11.5. Total points at 205.5. Public bet percentage here, 88% of the bets, 70% of the money all over Orlando. For the point spread, 63% of the bets, 65% of the money on Orlando to cover. And for the total points, we have 87% of the bets towards the over and 89% of the money here. Sharps all over the under 205.5. All right, looking at the injury report here, no injuries for the Charlotte Hornets. For the Orlando Magic, Jalen Suggs is game time decision. Moritz Wagner is out for the year. All right, so this Magic team here, the last 5 games, has been very inconsistent, losing 3 out of the last 5 games, beating San Antonio barely and blowing out the Sacramento Kings. They lost to they lost to Atlanta, Denver, and Golden State. All right. Charlotte Hornets here, losing 4 out of the last 5 games. They've been struggling mightily here. They just got back LaMelo Ball, so that is a positive sign for them. And if we're looking at the last past matchups, they've already played twice this year. Both games was a Magic win and Magic cover. Under 211 on the first game. Second game was another Magic win and Magic cover. Under on 213. In this particular game, they adjusted this line all the way to 205. So that's a big adjustment here. I like the over on the total. I think this is way too low here between these two teams. Give me the over on the 205. If we're going with point spread, that's where the only value is here. Give me the Hornets to cover this plus an 11.5. We had 2 straight covers of Orlando. I think the Hornets here on the third try will keep this game close. Hornets to cover plus an 11.5, and I love the over 205.5. Last but not least, here in American Airlines Center here, we have the Dallas Mavericks 28-26 going up against the Golden State Warriors 27-26. Looking at the current odds for this game here, the Warriors are road favorites, minus 210 on the money line, with the comeback of the Mavericks at a plus 170. Point spread at a 4.5. Total points at 233.5. Public bet percentage here, we have 78% of the bets, 84% of the money all over the Golden State Warriors. For the point spread, 76% of the bets, 79% of the money towards the Golden State Warriors to cover. And for the total points, we have 92% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 233.5. Looking at the injury report here, we already know major injuries here for the Dallas Mavericks. Anthony Davis is out for an extended period. Dwight Powell is out. Dante Exum is out. Derek Lively is still out. PJ Washington is a game time decision. Exum is a game time decision as well. And Daniel Gafford is out. So this team here in the Mavericks severely hurt in the front court. Golden State Warriors, just Jonathan Kuminga here. But with Jimmy Butler here, they've been playing fantastic basketball here in the Golden State Warriors. As you can see, winning back-to-back games since he's came over to the team and scoring 132 points and 125 points in both of those games. So very impressive performance there for the Warriors. Dallas Mavericks have been struggling here with the injury bug. They just got AD, lost them immediately in that game against Houston. And then here we have them losing to Sacramento, Philly, and Cleveland in the last 5 games. These 2 teams have already played, one to Golden State and then one to Dallas. And we had some big totals here. So the first game was Warriors on the money line. Warriors cover in the over 234.5. The second game was Mavericks money line. Mavericks cover in the over of 228.5. So those 2 totals, obviously 228.5 and then 234.5, and this one is at 233.5. So they slightly adjusted just a little bit here. But with those 2 overs, I think this one here, I'm going to go towards the under in this game of 233.5 here. Yes, I get how good this Warriors team has been scoring in the past 2 games, but this pace here in the Dallas Mavericks, they're going to have to slow down the pace here and definitely keep it not up tempo here against this Warriors offense here. They got to slow things down. They're already missing a ton of guys in that front court here, and they're missing a lot of production. I think their team total is going to go under, and I like the cover of the Warriors. So team total on the Warriors over, Warriors money line, Warriors cover, and I like the under in this game. I think they really blow out the Mavericks. They don't put up much of a fight and struggle to keep up pace with the Warriors, fall behind, and this total doesn't get caught up to as well. All right, so those are our selections for the Wednesday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or if you disagree. We can definitely debate about that down below. If you want to sign up for the Patreon, remember, in the description down below, click on that link, get connected. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes up 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.